Let's see. We should be live. Yes, we are. Excellent. Hi, everyone. So, welcome to another live Q&A that we're going to do for Hippocrates. This time we have Laura. Yes, hi, Laura. Joining us tonight, who has done all the amazing illustrations on Hippocrates, which was a huge project. We're definitely going to delve into that during the interview. But yes, as always, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to hit us up in the chat. That's always fun. For us as well, if you have any specific questions for Laura, don't hesitate to ask and we'll try to respond to them as we go along. But I'm just gonna dive into it. So hi, good evening, Laura, and thanks so much for joining us.
So it's nice to be here finally after, I would say, all this work on Hippocrates.
Yeah.
It's a nice ending to do the switch, I think, after that.
Yeah, it's been quite the project, but we're gonna get to that in a second. So the first question that I wanted to ask you was how you got into illustration in general, not just board games, but what made you decide to choose a career in illustration?
I think it was quite organic. I didn't really think about it, and when I was in high school, I studied cinema.
Okay.
And from that, after that, I decided to go to art school. First with the idea of working in animation or maybe in comic artist.
Yeah.
Something more with a narrative aspect, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But while I was in art school, I just discovered it wasn't really for me. And I just stick to illustration.
Yeah.
First for role-playing games, because I think it's kind of an easy door for illustrator to start in this field. And after that, board games. And since I tried and started to illustrate board game, I'm quite happy with it. It's an industry that I like.
All right. Very cool. So how did that come about? Like, when did you design your first board game that got published?
Probably, I don't remember the exact date, but 4 or 5 years ago, probably.
Yeah.
And it was a game called The King's Guild. It was quite a big project. It's not really known, I guess, because it was mostly distributed in USA, and it didn't go much. It wasn't really published in Europa, or not much, and it was quite a big project. I guess it's approximately as big as Hippocrates in terms of illustration.
Yeah, so a lot.
For the first project, it was quite handsome, and I liked it. Even today, I think it's one of my best projects in board games, because I guess it's all my favorite stuff. A lot of characters.
Yeah.
A fantasy setting.
Yeah.
And all that.
Okay, no, very cool. So another question now that we've talked about more like of your beginnings, because you haven't been, let's say, quote unquote, in the business for that long, but I think you've done some amazing work though already along the way. So let's talk about our big baby, obviously, which is Hippocrates. So how did you approach this project? Because like we said, it was like, it's one of, definitely, I think it's the biggest project in terms of amount of illustrations that we had to do, that we worked on as a company as well. So we knew that it was like quite the daunting task. But how did you approach it? And did you do like a lot of research on this? And, so I'll let you do the talking.
Well, I guess you and Alain did already a lot of research first. So
yes.
It has to be said, I had a lot of resources from you and some of the links you sent me. I did some research by myself, of course, mostly oriented on the visual aspect.
Yes.
And generally when I make research, I do it at the very beginning.
Yes.
And I try to immerse myself in the universe. So in that case, it was ancient Greece.
Yes.
I remember that it was a time when Assassin's Creed, the game, was out, and I took the opportunity to, wander into the game and use it as a good reference because, yes, it's really immersive, and I think I do prefer this immersive version than strict researches on historic stuff because. Again, I stay really interested and focused on fantasy art more than history.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just think that you what's to say that I like to do a little research and then forget about it all because I think that the brain. Fill the gap itself in a nice way.
Okay,
And that's when imagination comes into play.
Yeah, no, that's very true. And so what was, like for you, was it, because obviously people, I mean, have not seen maybe all of the illustrations. I think they will really realize how much is in there once they get the game. But how was it for you to work on so many characters, for instance?
I really liked the Doctor tiles. It was really a fun aspect for me. Probably the one I preferred the most. It was a lot more harder on the patient because it's true that there are a lot.
Yes, there's a lot.
Yes. And maybe my organization wasn't the best because I did all the patient in row, and it was honestly hard. And if I had to do it again, if I learned something from that, is probably to switch a little bit more between the tasks to avoid this daunting aspect of illustration.
Yeah, because it was. I mean, there's 72 patients in the game, so but I mean, I think it's great. I think what you did was really interesting because there's people from all walks of life and really young people, from kids to obviously older people. But yeah, I think that's really cool. All right. So what are some of the illustrators, though, that inspire you? Because I'm sure, I mean, there's a lot of, great names in the business. But are there specific illustrators whose work you really admire? It doesn't have to be with board games per se. It can be anyone. But yeah.
As a general artist, I guess my star, if I can that, is a guy called Marko Djordjevic, and he's for people who know the role-playing games, he's at the head of the Degenesis project.
Yes, okay.
His studio, Six More Vodka, I guess. They do a lot of work for League of Legends, of all these games. And if I could talk about one person within the board game industry, it would be Biboon, because I really adore his work. It's colorful and it's really neat, and I really like what he does. I have a Dice Forge in head. Yeah, I think Dice Forge even was on my list of reference for Hippocrates, because this how it works with the diamond in the middle is really, it's quite neat. I like it.
Yeah, no, that's very true. I mean, I love his work as well, and I've met him a few times, and who knows, maybe we'll get to work one day together, because I think, like, he said that he would love to work for us one day, and we have to find the right project, because, everybody's got obviously a lot of things going on, and it's about finding the right project as well, I think, for the right people. But yeah, it's true that he makes really, really cool stuff. And you mentioned Dice Forge, but are there any other games that you think are really particularly beautiful or inspiring?
I'm super bad with names.
It's okay. We'll play a game, you describe it, and I'll try and find which one it is.
Dice Forge. Recently I saw I think he won a lot of prize. Paleo.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
I think it's
Paleo,
really
yeah.
beautiful, and like Bevon's work, it's really colorful,
Yeah.
but mixed with simplicity because the box is all white and colorful for the illustration. I
Yeah.
like that. I don't particularly have all the names, but it's my favorite are in the styles. I really like the work you did on Stroganoff too.
Oh, thank
It
you.
was really nice. I like the board. And aside from that, I guess I like the maybe games who are more graphical than illustrative. So
Okay, yeah.
wait, I just look online. No, I think I kept an images. Yes, it's called Shaman. I don't know if you
Yes.
heard about it.
Yeah, no, it does, it definitely rings a bell. Yeah.
Yeah, it's wonderful. It's really simple,
Mm-hmm.
the design,
Yeah.
and I find that wonderful. And I think my style is in between to the two extreme,
Yeah.
between the illustration and with time. I'm not a graphic designer, but with time, I guess I lean into this direction a little bit, and
Yeah.
I really like those two references.
Okay, no, very, very cool. So we actually got in a fun question from someone on Twitch. They asked if you used any familiar faces for any of the characters in Hippocrates.
No, absolutely not.
There you go.
I really paint from imagination only. I rarely do portrait aside from studies from time to time,
Yeah.
just to train, but
Mm-hmm.
I like to just do it like that,
Yeah.
from imagination.
Okay, very cool. We also got another question, basically asking, are you working on other games at the moment?
Yes, but I can talk about it.
Yes, I was afraid you would say that.
But I also work for video games a little bit, so I
Okay.
do press-station work. Um, not known games for the video games, but
Mm-hmm.
a little things here and there, more in the indie world. And
Okay, very cool.
sometimes on bigger one, but it's not. It's concept work, so
Yes.
my contribution is not really massive. It's not like board games where everybody see your work. It's
Yeah.
just a little stone in a big company.
Yeah. Okay, no, very cool. But I understand. I know we get that question sometimes for other illustrators, but usually, yeah, people can't say because the game is supposed to stay a surprise. So very cool.
Yes.
So, because there's maybe people out there who are considering, also pursuing a career in illustration, would you have any tips to share with them?
Well, if the person considering it hasn't started studying it, I would suggest taking course online,
Mm-hmm.
because I think a lot of people are afraid or limited by reality simply and the cost of art studies. And
Yes.
honestly, after having tried both online course and real expensive
Yes.
art school,
Yes.
I can definitely say that the online option is a better one.
Okay.
Really.
That's
So
great.
it's the first step, and I think people shouldn't be afraid of not getting the same quality as they would have in person. But
Mm-hmm.
just go for it. It's better nowadays, and especially in our field, which is quite internet oriented. I think you can really have quality lessons now.
Okay.
So just don't hesitate.
Yeah. So how do you actually illustrate? Do you use, for instance, do you use a computer and then a tablet, or do you use something like an iPad, for instance? Because I know that there's differences there, and there's different people that prefer one or the other.
I have a screen tablet, but
Okay, yeah.
not an iPad.
Okay, no, very cool. We got some more questions in as well, which is really cool. Don't hesitate, guys. It's really fun to see questions popping up. Milman asks, so you play Assassin's Creed. Are you more a video gamer, than a board gamer, do you think?
Yes, totally.
That was an easy question. Well, fair enough. I think for me it's the opposite. Although the past year it's been more video games than board games for obvious reasons. But
right?
Yeah. So another question. This may differ from publisher to publisher, but they basically asked, does the designer of the game have final say on your drawing?
So it's a question for you.
Well, it's more a question for me, I guess. Well, I can't say for other publishers. So, and I mean, you don't have to disclose. For us, for Game Brewer, I mean, because I'm the art director, so I will obviously share with the designers and see, ask the authors, is everything is okay? But usually, well, it's me who has final say. Yeah. I mean, the way we work, it could be interesting as well for people to know, but. I go and look for people that I think would make a great fit for the game we're working on, and I usually have an idea a bit in mind of the style of the game and what I want it to look like and all that stuff. And then obviously there's back and forth between me and the illustrators. But yeah, I'll get sketches, I'll approve, or I'll say, maybe we should try it this way or that way. And then in the end, I have the final say on the things. But that's how it works here at Game Brewer. I don't know, we could maybe, because I think Alain is actually watching as well. So he could maybe tell us if in the past he's had, a lot of final say, I want to say, in the artwork. But I think usually publishers really take care of that. And because obviously that's the job of a publisher.
Yes.
All right, great. So we're getting close to the end of the interview. We'll see if maybe one or two questions still pop in, but we always traditionally end the interviews with a question about brews, because obviously as Game Brewer we kind of have to. So are you more of a coffee, a tea, or a beer person?
Well, is that a trick question first? Because if I don't answer beer, will I get fired or something?
No, because I will tell you why, and this is actually something I think you don't know about me, but I actually don't drink beer. And I know I work for Game Brewer, but I'm the only one in the whole company that doesn't drink alcohol, so it's fine. You can actually even work for the company and not drink beer. Although I'm pretty sure sometimes they try and siphon something inside of me when we go to Essen or whatever. But no, it's not a trick question.
Alright. But I'm gonna go with tea.
Okay, excellent. That would be my brew of choice. I'm a tea drinker as well. Excellent.
A tea team.
Yes, the tea team. Well, if Essen happens, and who knows, you make it. We don't know yet for this year, but I'm sure next year will be the case. We'll make sure to have tea for you as well. All right. Well, thank you, you guys. We're going to wrap up the interview. Laura, is there anything maybe you would still like to share with everyone about this project or in general?
I have nothing specific to say, but I was asking myself if you had the possibility to share your screen and maybe we could show one of two sketches. Maybe it's more speaking to people than...
Oh, yeah. Well, for me now, the problem is if you share your screen right now in Skype, that whatever whatever would show up would show on the stream. I can't simply switch, sadly, because it's locked onto my camera. Although I'm trying to think, maybe there is a way, but yeah, not too sure I can switch, especially doing it live. I don't want to screw anything up. However, maybe that is a fair point. If you guys we could maybe, because it's the last week of the campaign for Hippocrates, so maybe we'll share in an update, we'll share some sketches as well, so that you can see, how some of the patients looked before and then after, to kind of give an idea of how everything, came to be, because we obviously, illustrations start with basic sketches and that are just simply black and white, and then things get colored in as we go along. But yeah, for now, though, sadly, I can't switch because it's really
Okay.
locked to my
No
camera.
problem. But we can prepare a little something, maybe, yes, make a step by step or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, that would be fun. I know, like with Stroganoff, actually, for instance, Maciek had made GIFs. So he kept different stages of his illustrations, and we shared an animated GIF like this, which is quite fun as well. But yeah, it's a good idea. I think we'll share that in a future update so that people can see a little bit of how it all came to be. Brilliant. Yes. So thank you everyone for tuning in. Thanks for the questions. That was really, really fun. Yeah, somebody's saying looking forward to the game. We are too, because I mean, obviously we've played the game, some people have played it online, but it's always a million times nicer when the actual product is going to be there. We should start receiving samples in May, and then we'll share that obviously as well with the backers and show you how that comes along. And so Laura, thank you so much for tuning in. And yeah, have a great evening, everyone.
Thanks, you all.
Bye.